Hi, good morning.
Hey,
Hey, Jeff.
Jess.
Hi, I'm taking this from my phone. My camera isn't working. I'm trying to figure it out, but I'm here.
Okay.
Morning, everybody.
Morning, Jim.
Good morning.
Jim, how are you, sir? Living the dream, living the dream. Ooh. You all set for next Thursday, James?
Ready or not?
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
had enough people on the interview?
Yep.
Yep. All right.
Had our leadership team on the do the interviews. It was great. I think it was great.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm up next month.
Sweet.
Yeah. Um, yes, Austin, I sent you an email this morning with an attachment, a Word, which it was one of my agenda items. But let's jump into um, how
Okay.
you rule. You rule over us.
Yes, with an iron fist.
A benevolent dictator.
Yeah. Yeah, I can share my screen and start ruling.
Start ruling. May, Cinco de Mayo, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Feliz Cinco de Mayo.
Hmm.
Yep.
So I read there's an email that I get every day from Rob Chrisman, who's got about almost 50,000 subscribers in the industry. That's a
Wow.
staggering amount. And it's a full, email. I mean, a long, a lot of different topics and a lot of different sections that he's developed over the years. Used to started as a commentary on interest rates and it's morphed into something more substantial. So he always ends with a joke. And so the joke this time is that there's the Mexicans were incredibly passionate about and had developed a taste for um, mayonnaise. And the Titanic in the three what was it 1930s or whatever had 12,000 cases or something like that, some significant number of mayonnaise containers that it had on it, and it was headed for New York, and of course got sunk. And their destination after that was to Mexico, and in part to deliver the mayonnaise. And so they were distraught. When they learned that the Titanic had sunk, they were distraught. They were mournful, and they decided to mark it by a day of mourning, which turned out to be May
No,
5th.
no.
And here we go. Here we
Oh,
go. Because it was a Cinco de Mayo,
oh my God.
Sinko de Mayo.
No.
You saw it
I was
coming,
feeling
man.
it. I felt it coming.
Yeah.
Believe me.
That's not my joke. That's the guy's joke. I'm just conveying. I'm just the
Oh,
messenger, man.
that was awesome.
Sounds like mayonnaise companies need to harness the power like Star Wars has with May the 4th. And,
May the 4th. That's right. Yeah. May the 4th be with you. Man, that's a long, long time ago. It's a galaxy far, far away, right? That was 1977. Um, and I remember where I went to watch Star Trek for the Star Wars for the first time. It was I graduated from high school, and it was the old cinema in Wakefield, Rhode Island. Um, Pretty cool.
So fun.
They hooked me. They got me hooked. Anyway, uh,
Jess and Jim, give us some wins since
yeah.
last time we met.
Oh boy. So I was on vacation the week before.
That's a win.
I came back last week. Last week was the first part of the week was like a little bit of a catch up for me. Other than that, I went and I visited a client of ours, AAA, and just really making outbound calls. That's all really I've been focusing on. And actually today I'm going to one of our clients to visit this afternoon, Citizens.
Yeah.
last week I was at a conference, a Future Real Estate Summit sponsored by Qualia, which is the owner of it's both the software platform for title production and also the owner of Resware, which is ours. And the focus of it was on AI, and uh, but it's also a gathering of friendly competitors, but also a lot of other relationships And I had a fabulous, day, 2.5 days connecting with people. I've got like 6 or 7 different opportunities to chase, business development wise. But learned quite a bit about AI and the perspective that Qualia holds relative to AI. They have an AI. They've embedded a tool in Qualia for AI. We won't get it because we're Resware. They don't bring some of the Qualia features over to Resware because they're two different, completely different technological platforms from what we're told, which I have healthy skepticism about. But, one thing that the CEO, who was the founder and young guy, his name is Nate, he's out of college and he designed Qualia. And there's a whole equity backstory to that another day. And he said that in 24 months, we will not recognize our business because AI will so transform what we do, it would be radically different. And if we don't do something
Mm.
relative to AI, applying AI, then we'll be left behind in inside of 12 months. Left behind, not done. So I'm a bit I believe the guy. He's brilliant. To my mind, he's brilliant. He's one of the smartest, people in the industry, from all that I can see, and that's a high vantage point. And so I believe that there's going to be this is the transformation that we've been, believing is going to come. And it kind of brought me back, inspired to at least get some stuff going. We've got a couple of things in the queue, to tackle the really basically proof of concept ideas in around the application of AI, but it's very real. My view, it's very real. James, I'm sure you guys, more than believe that.
Yeah, every day it's
Yeah.
I'm becoming more of a cyborg every day.
Yeah.
In that talk, Jim, how did he address security? I'm curious.
They have so not too much on the broad, other than to acknowledge that um well, I'd say there's 3 things. One is, our cyber strategy relative to reducing lender liability risks, in particular, hacking risk for getting after the money transfer, the wire transfer stuff. They have a tool. They call it Qualia Shield, which is similar to some of the stuff that we've been researching. We won't get access to it because it's one of those things that they can't bring over. So on a transactional level, they have a tool in place for that. It's basically just a way to make certain that the email the wire goes out undisturbed or not diverted. There's
So
a
that's what you're doing. What did he
yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what we're trying to do that. So he didn't really specifically address cyber risk other than the acknowledgement that it's getting more and more sophisticated,
Yeah.
and we have to be, on our toes. So I don't know what the enterprise, what they're doing enterprise wise but there's a warning in all of that is that it's becoming more frequent, stepped up, and more sophisticated because of AI. So be aware of that. I mean, we're kind of so Qualia is in the cloud, but Resware is not. Resware is what they call on-prem. So we're responsible for all of that, infrastructure that we need, and to guard and all of that sort of stuff. So I guess they believe that because it's in the cloud, it's somewhat more defensible than on-prem. But they didn't specifically address the security. What they did do was Nate said something controversial, I think, but also stimulating. He regards AI in the time of mankind's history, that this is akin to when fire was discovered and language developed. So think about that. That's the context he's putting it in, and he's not doing it to. It's not a scare tactic. He was showing a whole, his slides really helped show that this is not a replacement for people. This is akin to, he showed the adoption of the use of horses on one slide,
Mm.
and then the peak was when the combustion engine was introduced, and then the use of horses, on the decline. And it's just basically it's just a different, he would call it different technology,
Hmm.
replacing the prior technology. But there was a lot of what he described was the story around it too, and what he sees. So it's a perspective, but I think it's, you live in this stuff, you live in this world. I don't, and so it's fascinating to me. So
Yeah. Well, a couple things there. I would say what we're doing on the security side dovetails so nicely, right? Because it's the hot topic that
yeah,
people are talking about, but
yeah,
it's the part that people don't say enough. And so I really I'm like doubling down again on, yeah, really keying in on this and saying like, well,
yeah,
other companies, your what is it, my cousin Vinny,
yeah.
partners,
They're not going to do it.
they're not thinking about it along these
Uh,
lines. And we are
yeah.
thinking not only on the technology level, but on the security side of that technology side.
Yeah, we modified our not our vision statement, but our mission statement, which is to be the most trusted and safest, the most trusted partner in the safest way to close a loan. Words to that effect. I'm not quoting it very well. To reflect safest place, which is all
Love
about the risks that we're facing. I'm
it.
convinced
Yeah.
that it's the right. I mean, I have in some of the the informal soundings. When I say informal, I've probably talked about a little more than a half a dozen. These are really people that whose opinions I value in bouncing it off of them, and it's the affirmation I'm getting is that yes, you're right. There's no comprehensive tool out there, and what you're talking about is something that's pretty fascinating. A and B, it's going counter trend. What the trend in the industry is of alternative title products or a race to the bottom in terms of pricing for the Fannie and Freddie are trying to take money out of the transaction to reduce closing costs. Frankly, I think they're shooting at the wrong target.
Hmm.
Great amount of monies with realtors and mortgage banking in that order. However, they're saying that the trend is race to the bottom in terms of pricing, and but what we're going to end up doing is probably charge for this, which can we understand consumers are willing to pay for. So we're going in the opposite direction. We're adding coverage, we're adding safety, we're adding something in, so we're adding value, enhanced value, if you will, and because we're recognizing the risk. We also know that we just know that consumers are aware of the risk and they want to make sure that there's cover for that.
Hmm.
And so being able to come out with the coverages that we're talking about and also be able to charge a premium basically for it, we're going in the opposite direction than the industry's going. That could be fatally bad, or it could be brilliant. There's nothing in between there. So, but thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Um,
All right, Austin, you're up. Sorry.
got it. No, it's fine. It's helpful to hear that. Because yeah, we're thinking about the security campaign. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
helpful. Just real quick, some highlight changes from our scorecard items. So our rating went up to 4.9. So I don't know if that was someone on your team, just like woo.
Mhm.
But yeah, someone shifted it. We went up a couple for IG, two
Mhm.
followers, and then LinkedIn was 13. So those are the biggest highlights on the scorecards.
Okay.
Um, Other than that, our to-do updates. So we sent you those interview
Yeah.
questions for review, and you were able to see those. Any final comments or feedback on that?
No, not yet. Not yet. The next step on the security campaign is the security stuff is for pulling the senior team together. We've not been together. And I need to bring them current, and that's happening today.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had vacations. We've had, Brian was away last week for all week for a conference. I was away for half a week. And James, you're gonna be stunned and surprised and pleased to hear this. On Friday, my son Ryan finished his the night before he finished his second year of law school, so he came down. We golfed on Friday afternoon. Chris came down on Saturday. Chris, Ryan, and I golfed with one of their friends on Saturday, all day.
Nice.
We went both in times. We went to Exeter, and then Sunday we did a there was like a kind of a quasi a tournament for one of their friends was getting married. Crazy stuff. We this was at North Kingstown. It was cold as all get out because of the wind, but we golfed again. So I golfed 3 days in a row with my kids.
What the heck?
Yeah, yeah. I did okay, ish. But 3 days ago, man, am I sore. My repaired knee is swollen because of all the walking and swinging and all that. So, but
You're a young guy.
I think I've golfed more in this, more this past weekend than I have in a year. So,
That's
James
awesome.
is definitely hoping to get his kids.
getting to go, getting ready to go. Don't want to embarrass myself on the course. That's what it is.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so I should have used that as a highlight.
That's good. No, James has got 3 kids he's working on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I don't
so just I have it in the to do bucket, but I have to bring the team current. It's been a month of not being able to do that. So today marks the day where we're marking some next steps on this, which is basically to start in earnest interviewing some of these firms the things that they do, and then doing the formal and informal validations.
gotcha.
So it's in the it's in the hopper. Excuse me.
We do have so namely, like
Okay,
just the naming
good.
exploration ready for your review. We can look through that after I just go through these to do updates.
Yep.
Uh, James, you can take that over if we have the time to do that.
Sure.
And then May social media. So that's ready for review. We have some video ideas in progress. It's nothing, it's more like a stepping stone.
Yep.
I want to see if we can do that. So we'll have those for you soon. Our copywriter was out last week, so he's gonna be working on those today. Then the second or the other thing with
Yep.
validating interviews was 10
Yep.
to 15 contacts, which you just highlighted.
Yep.
And then we have the 2026 calendar update. So Ben has been featured on that one.
Oh, good. I
Yeah.
was going to ask about that. So,
Yeah.
winning takes a team.
So he's there.
Yeah. We want to take, can you show it? Because I'll explain why. But not Ben's thing. I remember it, but what from like, if somebody clicked on, what do they see? Could you go to the start?
Oh, right here.
Okay. So you got the dream work. Okay. You got that. And then meet the team, which is Ben.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then what's after that?
Monthly updates.
Yeah. Um, okay. Further, scroll down, please. Okay. Um, yeah, so I don't know of all that follows we would need because well what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sending the mugs out. Right now we've been sending out the welcome kit that includes the mug. When we exhaust the welcome kit, which has a lot of swag in it, which is going pretty well, but it's pretty expensive because it's a pretty good sized box. And so we're going to likely just go with the mug, and then talk to you guys about an insert into the mug. And I just wanted to make sure that we are in fact updating it every month because one of the touches that we're going to develop on the sales side is well, once we know we have a reasonably, reasonable distribution of mugs, we'll be touching them at the end of every month to give them a heads up that to check out the mug for the monthly change. So try to get more traction there. What we're finding with we've got the candy jar for once they've closed loans, we send them a candy jar. We're replenishing that. We replenished that in April. Even though the interest rates are not favorable to decent amount activity, it's basically dead. We saw a slight increase in order activity from March to April. And on a per day basis, it seemed like after we started to get some hit, some of the welcome kit out, the candy jar, that kind of stuff. We started to see a little bit of an increase and in addition to that, we had a record attempted contacts, over 600 attempts from our three people. So it's almost 200 of each. And we saw the same amount of contact rate, but um, that was it still meant because we had an increase attempt, we had an increase in contact. So we think there's a few things that are working. The touches, work or help. So what we want to try to do is separate the welcome kit swag from the mug and lead with the mug and then let the QR code do some selling for us as well. So we'll talk not today, but maybe a follow-up because we've got some inventory to go through, but we'll talk about how to get a card, some kind of a card that we would insert into the package.
Right.
Not
Would that
just
be would that be
not
like
just the
slotted into the mug, or are you saying
yeah,
beside the
yeah,
mug?
yeah. Into the mug, something.
Okay. So like a postcard size?
Yeah, yeah, something's probably smaller than that.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, the mug has a cover on it, so it's really something that so they have for inside the mug, they've got cleaning instructions. This is, what goes into the mug. So if we had to, it'd be better if we could just have it inserted into the box and then have them seal the box and ship it. That would be our plan. And it would be a simple message. So it'd be a simple welcome, kind of a message that would be printed. So I've got that as for the next time we get together again, a to do.
So that'd be more like a business card then, not a postcard. That would
Yeah.
have.
Well, we've been inserting, having them insert the business card in the box, but we think a greeting of some sort would be more appropriate, and with maybe message on the front and on the back would be the business card kind of a stuff.
Yeah.
Jim,
Yeah.
tell me those numbers again. What's the 600?
600 sales attempts to reach a customer. So they reach out by phone or by email, and then when they have contact with them, voice, actually conversation and or a back and forth via email, then we count that as a contact. So last
And how
month we
many?
had
Yeah,
nearly 700, and it's about 20% contact rate,
right.
meaning they have successful connection by email back and forth or a phone call. At 20, typically just 20% is the number. It's on average.
That's a
So
lot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're sending the mug to the 150 people.
Only when we have somebody who orders with us, who we've met with, and we anticipate we're going to get who will be new to us, and we're anticipating that they basically have said yes, I'll work with you. And then we send them something else on first order, right? Which is we're going to get back to it, which is the thing I sent to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, the thing you just sent this morning, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You
We
could.
can look at that real quick after.
Yeah, I don't know that all of the stuff that we have going on in the mug is, doesn't and moves the needle after the video. I mean, there's a lot so I don't know whether or not all of that is necessarily helpful, but I get why we did it. So maybe we keep it for now and we'll see.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
Uh,
thanks.
yeah.
Website. We're meeting today, one of my agenda items is a website. Any further feedback? I talked to Brian yesterday, and Brian said that his feedback, he gave feedback in the meeting. I think on this page, the landing page, I think what we did talk about this quite a bit with you guys, and I think that to me what the takeaway for me was kind of instead of get the information you need fast, because that's not everybody who visits is going to look for a quote. So the thought was, how can we help you? Or something like that, where we're asking, basically trying to get them for us to direct them where they should go. So tell them basically, how can we help you? And then try to identify who they are. And from that, direct them to a more specific place for them. For example, if it's a borrower, um, or tell us what you need, that kind of a thing, as opposed to get the information you need fast.
Yeah. Okay.
So
to start with a question and maybe have it
Yeah,
could be possibly a multiple links
yeah,
like
yeah,
that would signal or trigger a like someone that's a loan officer would know this question, or someone who's a buyer would know this question,
yeah,
and so on and so
yeah,
forth.
yeah. But we can we can probably I'll probably pull up with Chris and then yeah, so there you go. So because basically they identify themselves, if they're a homeowner. Um we're in the throes while you're on that page. Commercial. We're going through the ideal customer profile exercise that we're pretty much wrapped up. And although it's not official, but one of the things that we're not going to pursue this year is going to be commercial. So we can park that, and hide it or whatever. But it may make a comeback next year. But right now we're not going to be focused on commercial. Part of what the ICP is doing for us is getting us to focus on who the ideal customer is and making decisions around that. Um, and so commercial wouldn't be something that we'd be chasing this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
work
we'd no place to put it.
the work that you're doing on that ICP stuff, Jim, is going to inform a
Yeah,
lot. Like
yeah,
for
yeah,
instance, taking off this, but also the
yeah,
copy on the site. So think of
absolutely.
all the copy as potentially placeholder, like it's all very malleable. It can be updated, obviously.
Right.
Do you need help with that though?
We might, yeah, we might. It's not completely settled. It's still a little bit in flux. But I'd say it's like 85% done.
I don't know if it's appropriate. Like I don't feel comfortable writing that for you all, but helping facilitate that conversation to lead it towards a story that is
Okay.
relevant. Like
Yeah.
whenever you want, like I'm happy to jump in on a call with.
Yeah. Well, it'd probably be appropriate. Let me check off with Ben, but we're probably at that point where we need to be thinking about the go-to-market messaging, right? And so this would be an appropriate place to pull you in. It wouldn't necessarily be the entire team, but I think that because we got five, it's Ashley and Kat, Chris Marola, Ben and I. So I think it's probably inappropriate. It's the appropriate time to bring in you and team perhaps. So for messaging, but yeah.
is that something we're thinking about in our next meeting
Say again.
that we'd want to? Is that probably something we want to try and aim and do in our next meeting?
Well, I'm not sure if I can get it on the agenda for this week's meeting. And I'd rather make sure that I've got alignment with Ben in particular and Chris on that. But I think that if it's not the next one, it's the one after that. We're not, I mean, I think at this point it's 85% done. More from now I'm trying to identify which customers fit, which customers don't fit, for example. What are we going to, for those that don't fit, what are we going to do about that? But I think that we're formed enough to you start thinking about messaging. It may not be this week, but it certainly would be no later than the second week.
Yeah, we can put it.
It would be having you guys join the meeting as opposed to doing it at this meeting.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna guess we start working on this stuff in early June. Is
No,
it
I'd say
or
so.
sooner? Okay,
Yeah, let me.
okay,
Yeah, I believe we meet every Thursday or Friday. I think it's a Friday. We met last week, so I think it's Fridays that we meet.
okay.
I'll find a slot.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm bringing people along. One of the things I've learned, is yeah, it's every Thursday, every Friday at 11:30 to 1. So I don't think we'd be ready for that, but I'll check if we're going to be ready for that conversation for this Friday. More likely not be the 15th.
Okay,
So I've got that as a note take away from me too.
all right, sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be the whole meeting either. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can join in for the first 30, 40 minutes.
yeah, and we can give you the material that we're using as a guide. Basically whatever output we've had from the meetings that would be helpful to that'll catch you up.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Okay. Sweet.
Sweet.
James, you want to jump into some of
Sure.
the cybersecurity naming and also the impact mailer?
Yep. Let's do it.
You want to have the screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Hang on, I'm trying to get back to you guys. Is it Zoom?
Hmm.
Yeah.
You should see my screen here.
I'm sorry, I'm not. It's not Teams, right?
Nope.
No. Are
Um,
you on, do you have Zoom as an app on your computer or is it on your web browser? Sometimes I can uh,
I was just
mess it
gonna
up.
say that, Jim. Maybe it's a tab in your web browser.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay. All right, exciting. We're going to kick off on some naming options and Heimpek Miller as a campaign. Love doing this campaign. I'll go over again kind of the high level strategy here of things we like to see for Heimpek Millers. So a couple things on the brand style guide review. Um, when we think about campaigns, it's and whenever we're doing naming too, it's always important to think about um, how does this fit in with the brand?
Mhm.
What's the tone that we want to convey? We use a tool that we created called Brand Spectrum. So this is a tool where you can measure brands from left to right, warm and friendly, inviting,
Oh yeah, yeah. I think we
soft.
did this when we did Home Team. I think we did this.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
all the way to, clean, cool, sexy tech. And so here's some brands that kind of represent that spectrum. Ben and Jerry's, Life is Good, good examples of a one. Uber, Tesla, great examples of a 10. And then in the middle, kind of purposely, there is no middle. Five is slightly left, six is slightly right. You have these big box stores that have to convey their brand to a lot of different folks, and they represent, kind of every brand within their store. But Walmart certainly slightly left of Target, Dunkin' very left of Starbucks. Let's see, Ben and Jerry's very left of Haagen-Dazs, things like that.
yeah.
So this is the spectrum. Equities kind of always stood in that kind of slightly right area. I'd say
Mhm.
6.5, 7-ish area. You have some of these
Yeah,
other competitors who I'd say First American
yeah,
probably a little bit lower on the spectrum. They feel, it's like illustrated, brand. Stewart kind of in the
yeah. About the
middle, a
same. Yeah,
little.
yeah,
Uh, I don't love it. Qualia feels very a little cold, in my opinion. And so, yeah, so this is kind of where we've wanted to sit, higher quality, better than these brands, of course. And
okay.
so remember that as we jump into names, right? Like I did a really fast version of this, kind of the brand spectrum, but it's
Yep,
helpful to see before we dive into some of these naming ideas. So the effort here is to give the security program. What's cool about this is that we're inventing this, so it can be
yeah,
whatever we want. It could be a campaign, it could be the offering, it could be an entire subgroup within equity, it could be its own team. Like there's kind of there's a limitless, possibilities of what this name can represent. But right now, what we understand it as is equities branded program, equities branded
yeah,
efforts for security offering, right? Which I think is very homepage worthy, if we roll this
yep.
out in time for the site launch. So you'll see the name and you'll see a little bit of kind of tone and words that go along with it. So actually, it might be helpful. I'm just gonna, this always goes with equity, right? And
Yeah.
let's add a little superscript to this so it feels very official here. So the equity closing shield. So this is a nice play on protection, Obviously, we haven't done the branding or the visual branding of this yet, but um, we'll probably see a shield in the lockup of this.
I think it's taken, but I'm
Closing
not.
shield?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I checked some names too, so but I think it's taken, but I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Closing shield
Yeah,
for
yeah.
title.
Yeah, we did a trademark, a very
Oh, I see.
rudimentary trademark for a couple of names that we had generated too, and we also talked to trademark expert at Adler Pollock and Sheehan,
Oh, great.
and Bobby, my good friend of mine, is a managing partner. So he connected us to their expert, and so we just asked them to. I can't remember the names. I'll dig up the names and forward it to you. Some of the names that we said, hey, just run these and see what might be available, might not be available. I just can't remember because it was like 6 weeks ago I did that, and it was just on the fly, man. It was not, it wasn't.
Okay, so
Yeah, I'm
um,
not sure if it's taken, but it doesn't matter. It's a good name. So I think the thinking
yeah.
is correct. Yeah,
So yeah, that's interesting if you came across this. Obviously, I like that it's end result oriented. Like this
right.
is we're trying to we get to the moment where we don't want this to fall apart. We want this to be
Sure.
protected. So like that. Your buddy at APS, I would recommend asking him, just kind of level with him of, hey, trademarking, if there's somebody else that has this in a similar category
Right.
for us,
Yeah.
is it defendable?
Yep.
What do
Yeah,
you have to
because
say?
it could have that apply. It could be, applied to something completely different, a completely different
That's right.
industry.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, sure.
What came to mind when I saw that was American Home Shield. Is that what you were thinking of, Jim?
No, no,
No? Okay.
no,
Do
no.
you is that a concern or a
What, closing shield? Is it a
no American
concern?
Home Shield?
Oh,
No,
no,
that's
no.
that's a home warranty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it. All right, next one. A little bit slightly left. The
okay.
fraud guard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
a little bit harder to say, in my opinion, but I like it as you remember it.
Yeah.
It's literal, direct, very security first. And, at the end of the day, we're protecting against fraud. That is
Yep.
what the security does.
Yep.
So I like this. I like guard also,
Yep.
strong, powerful. Um, I like this makes it a little bit more
There you go.
insurance-esque, the equity assurance. So hey, you can rest assured, reassuring, enterprise friendly. You can rest assured we have it under
Yep.
control. Um, there's definitely like a little bit, it's strong, but it's also
Yeah. I
you
like it.
a little bit more
Use
careful.
that in my crazy brain. It's been in what we call the freezer aisle, which is where ideas go to die or go to be preserved.
Nice.
And what's nice about that is that we're contemplating that there would be an insurance wrapper around this too.
Yeah, possible.
So I think that can fit. In fact, it may be the most defensible thing we can do because no one would have that. I would it would be unique.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, I like it.
Well, we didn't know this when we wrote it,
Yeah,
but
it's
this
great.
is one where you can use it as just assurance. You can
Mhm.
you can use the word assurance as your product, and so it could be equity national
Yep,
title, the
yep,
assurance program
yep,
or the
yep.
insurance plan. But when you tie equity to the actual name of it, it's more defensible on the trademark side, obviously,
Absolutely. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yep.
it's easier to own there. Um, so a little bit more creative on this one, modern, productized, shorter, brandable, the closed shore.
One
So
of the names. Yeah,
what's
it's
that?
one of the names that I sent to the trademark guy, and I think yeah, I can't remember the outcome, but that's one of the names. But so we're thinking, the good news is that this is aligned to, how,
Yeah, it's
how we've
great.
been thinking. So
Did we send you these? Did we
no,
send the list of
No,
these?
not yet.
No?
no,
All
no.
right. So you where it's just a hive mind where
It's just, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
right
it's a reassuring, by the way, that you're tracking,
yeah,
tracking.
yeah, dig it. Yeah, so this one feels certainly more product oriented, right?
Yeah,
And it's much more ownable, much more defensible.
yeah.
And we did do a little bit of light searching around this. I didn't see a ton of stuff in this category. Um, but closure as a word, as the finality is really great. And we'd probably pronounce it closure. Closure.
Close short.
Yeah.
But I do like you could even abbreviate. You could either CLOSURE. You could do that, like drop the E and the S, and closure brings along, that's finality, etc. So that might be another way to go at that. But I do like that. That was
We
one of my
played
favorites. Yeah.
Yeah, we played with it. I like this one better
Oh
because it
yeah. Yeah.
feels like well
Yeah.
this is what we're doing, right? We're at the closing. We're making sure that everything is done
Yeah.
properly, everything's done
Yeah.
right. All right, last one. Again, a little bit of a product oriented feel. Title lock.
Hmm. I think
I actually like this.
home there's a home title lock product out there, which is I think a shyster product.
Product.
Much like you can lock your credit report,
Okay.
it's on that. It's trying to tap into that principle that you can lock your title. You can't lock your title, but what is just you can't. You can lock your credit report because it's personal to you. You can and so you have to give permission to people to access your credit. Um, and for title, it's public. It's all public recorded documents. And just a quick thing, if you've ever gotten this request, but so I don't know whether or not title lock will survive because of home title lock, but
I like
it's a
it.
good word. It's a good one. It's again good thinking. And the what the home title says is that you can protect, you effectively saying you can lock your title and protect it from people who are trying to steal your home from you, which would be basically deeding you and Callie off the title and putting Austin on. And then Austin steals your ID and then goes out and borrows money against your property. And before you know it, you've got like 7 liens on the property and you're in foreclosure. But you can only discover that after the fact. You can't prevent it from happening. So
Mm.
that's like James, you closed with us like 5 years ago, something like that. And that would be, how do we make that affordable to you? That we would be updating your title with some frequency. So let's say we did it on a quarterly basis. It would run, close to $100 every time we do it. So would you pay $400 a year to have me run your title every quarter? The only thing I'm doing is shortening the period of time with
Mm.
which it may have happened and then make you aware of it so you could take some action. So best case scenario in that example, which I'm using, is 90 days, after it happened. It's anywhere from 1 day to 90 days that it happened. I'm letting you know about it.
Mhm.
How important is that to you? If that were a real thing, then we'd be creating a product around that. But it's cost prohibitive. To my mind, it's cost prohibitive unless you're, because I mean, how could I price that to make money? And then how can I price it so it's affordable? Do you follow? So that's what home title does. It's after the fact they'll tell you, yeah, this happened whenever it happened. So some notice is better than no notice, I guess. But again, it comes down to, what would you be willing to pay for that for the peace of mind that no one stole your title. If somebody stole it, if they'll steal it, if somebody stole it, the practical reality is they act on that like right away. They do a deed and then they do a home equity within days of that happening. So it's a calculate. I mean, you've got some sophisticated thieves who are doing that. So.
So a little bit of emotion. This is always what happens on on naming. Uh,
Yeah,
ev there's emotional ties to things that we would never know, right?
right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
helpful to see
Good.
all those things. So let me take that one off of this next slide um, and show you here's some options for you to keep thinking about.
Yeah,
Um, keep,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll check what we sent to the trademark attorney and then circle back with that. One thing that they did say, if it's like, let's say it's closure or whatever it was for fraud guard, if there's whether there's somebody's using it already or if they're using it already, is it outside the industry? What you can do to make it more defensible is have a like a tag, not kind of like a tagline or position and statement under like fraud guard, preventing fraud in real estate transactions, something like that would help make it more defensible because that's what they're saying. They don't say that you have to do that. They're just saying what makes it more defensible is that
yeah.
kind of
No,
thing.
no offense to trademark attorneys. This is why I think the whole industry is a scam because they'll say, yeah, wait, add a tag or add a
Yeah,
subline to it.
it's still going
And
to
then
be,
you go
still,
put it on the market, and then that company is like, no, 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 no.
yeah.
The name of the product is the same, so I
Still in it. You're still in it. Yeah. And we spend a lot of time avoiding entanglements, I call it, be it regulatory or litigation. So I'd rather have something that's clean. So this is all good. This is what I'm encouraged by, seriously, is that these are good names that you guys came up with without the benefit of what's going on in my crazy brain and what I've seen. So it's the thinking is aligned, and that's a very positive thing. I think it's going to be really and particularly helpful when we get to the messaging
yeah. And
because
when Jim, you either had a moment of clarity or your craziness is rubbing off, and
rub it off on you.
we're in the crazy world and
Well,
coming
I
over.
think
So,
we'll take both of them. I think we're
yeah,
both
sure.
in the crazy
Either
world.
of them works, yeah. So a little bit of true line. So we take that work and then turn this into, hey, what's a thing that we can say on the website that feels uh, accurate, true? How do we convey this quickly, to individuals? So here's an example in the
Ooh,
insurance world, lemonade, forget
yeah,
everything you know about insurance. That's a
yeah,
true line.
yeah,
Instant everything, incredible prices, big heart. And
yeah.
so very left side of the spectrum, very anti-insurance. Have you been following the Lemonade story? I like their brand.
I know, yeah, I know about them. Yeah,
Yeah, I like their branding a lot. It sounds
yeah,
like they're doing pretty well as a software company,
yeah,
around insurance. So here's some true line options, with
yeah.
any of these really. So
There you
let's
go.
use closure as an
Yeah,
example. Protect
fraud
every
stops.
closing,
This
confidence at
is
every
strong.
closing.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
Closing secured, peace of mind built in,
yeah,
security that closes deals, fraud stops here.
yeah. That's strong. I like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I love them too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
protect every closing. Yep, yep.
these lines, strong, powerful, really kind of owning this position. Like, hey, we're gonna protect everyone.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah,
nothing that comes across our desk that's not gonna get this layer of protection. You can almost see that visual happen where
yeah,
kind of like, the equity shield or the
yeah. I
equity kind
like
of
that.
layer
Yeah,
on top.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so those true lines are something that we're working on, and we have 10 minutes. So let me go through these high impact mailers quickly and just kind of toss the ideas at you, and
Okay.
you can let me know what you think. All right, so I'm going to jump to high impact mailers, memorable mailers that open doors, rebuild relationships, close more deals. The idea here is we want these high impact mailers. What we found is the most successful. This is what April brought with her
Yeah,
when
yeah,
we were
yeah.
working together.
Yep,
Connecting the item to a pain point is
absolutely.
is is almost more important than the value of the item necessarily itself.
Yeah,
When it's
agree.
an
Yeah.
interesting, valuable item that people want to keep, that's really great.
No, it's tying into the message. I completely agree
Yes.
with you.
So,
Absolutely.
so giving them like a mug, for instance, I think a mug is great. You've done it before. It is a reinforcement of the brand. But if we can send something that feels ownable and connected to the story and the messaging, that really does open doors into, a
Yeah.
conversation, and it turns heads. It makes everybody pay attention. So a couple ideas here that I'll run through very quickly, and we'll send you the deck to review. You can discuss this a little bit further with the team. This is recorded for you, Chris, too. Also, love to get your thoughts on it. And Jess, of course, a lot of this is specifically for you because we're targeting local folks
Yep.
first. Mhm. So the first one is the repair kit. We
Oh
talked
boy.
Love.
a little bit
Wow.
about this. The right tools for the right job. Your title and closing process might be more broken than you think.
Wow.
And the cool thing about this is that we can create the whole thing. We can create the whole kit. That's very expensive. I would actually recommend, so if you create the whole thing, you have this opportunity to have like really like specific, unique products. Like you could put the mug inside, right? The kit as well, or or a tumbler, or um, we can take a branded kit toolkit
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
people respect and use. Like I would
Yeah.
recommend actually sending maybe a Milwaukee kit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
small kit because that's one they're going to be like, wow, they sent me a Milwaukee kit. That's awesome. So premium, if it speaks to that message, the right tools can feel like a lifesaver when unforeseen issues creep into a closing. We've got you. And then there's some CTA that happens, so free 20-minute closing process security checkup. So, but hey, this ties in really nicely to the security program. If we could roll that out at the same time, there might be a play to combine some of these messages.
Sure.
So yeah, so we added a little bit of estimated cost. This one's the biggest range, I think, $50 to $500 because the Milwaukee toolkit could be easily, 300,
Yeah.
$400. But there's a little bit of messaging, I'm sorry, a little bit of packaging design, and then of course shipment. But if you're going to hand these in person, there's
Yep.
no shipment costs, right? Just
Yep.
it's
Love it.
all right. So now that you know the format, I'm going to go through a little bit quickly just to get all these ideas. I loved the idea of that lifesaver,
Yeah.
Jim, or the
Yeah. We
life
did.
raft.
Yep.
Um, so if your closings are sinking, don't wait for the deal to go under. We help rescue deals if they turn into frustrated borrowers, panicked LOs, and last minute chaos. So there's kind of this idea of it's big, it's
Yeah.
chunky, and we
Yep.
can nail
Yeah.
it as is. I like
Yep.
the idea we can co-brand it with them too. So there's their branding and equities branding. Maybe they hang it up if it's super nice. You can envision like boathouses, yacht clubs.
Yeah.
They have the life,
Yep.
I love that for local, especially because we are,
yeah,
Rhode
yeah,
Island.
Rhode Island based. Yep. Similar to LifeRing, we've got and relatively affordable, 50 to 150,
Yeah.
depending on the
Yep.
quality of the
Yep.
one. And then branding it, you can actually screen print on any products these days. So we'll find a screen printer to just post it right on, or do sticker. This one's a similar,
Oh.
less
Oh.
expensive hula hoop.
Yeah.
Stop jumping through the hoops to get the closing to the table. Closings don't need to feel like a circus act. Equity makes the process smoother, cleaner, easier to explain to your clients. And so even less expensive than the
Yeah.
offering, right?
Yep.
The cool thing is if we do go this path, I would recommend a branded tag that goes along with it.
Yep.
And if
Yep.
you spend a little bit more money, a branded packaging. So
Yep. Yeah. You can hang on to it. You can hang
yeah,
to it. That's what
this
it
one's
is. Yeah.
super unique packaging, so it might be a
Mhm.
little bit more expensive, but we could do like a simple half of a box where the hula hoop goes through it, or like a band. This is just a sample idea. All right, two more real quick. One is I love this one for the women.
Wow.
So you could have a couple here. Um, so
I love that.
sorry to so okay, Jess. I wasn't sure if you were gonna like that or not like that, but losing sleep over your title partner, do like this really beautiful kit of sleeping stuff. So uh,
Yes,
eye
that's
mask,
great.
candle, has some like messaging with it. Your title partner should make you look good, not keep you up at night.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
Love.
the kit doesn't have to be super expensive. Like we could put pretty normal
Yeah.
stuff in
Yeah.
there, or
Yeah.
we can go all out and put really high quality things in there. Spend a little bit more money, but 30 to $100, I'd say, something like that. So yeah, I love this. Maybe even having this as like one version of the product to
Yep.
give to, you know, not to gender stereotype too much. Maybe the women really love the tools.
Well,
Maybe,
I
maybe
didn't
the
want to
men
say it, but
maybe the men love the sleep. I would love the sleeping kit more than the tools
Yeah.
personally. So yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
what I want you to think about is does the story resonate? Which story resonates the most? And
Yep.
let's
Mm.
tie that product in.
Yep.
And the toolkit happens to be one of the more expensive
Strong.
ones. So
Yeah, it's strong.
if you want to start smaller, this is a great way. The box itself is probably one of the more expensive things to create because there are a lot of custom box shops out there. And actually today there's we can probably find the right box, find the right items, put it all together. Not a problem. And
Yeah.
then this one is unbranded. I wanted to show you the actual one, what this looks like. Jim, this was your request.
Oh, it's a small group of partners in Exxon. I like the idea. Yep.
Yeah, this is actually a video in the box.
Yeah,
So
is that the Mark guys? Is
Yeah.
that this?
yeah,
That's that? Yep.
well, there's a bunch
Well,
of
similar.
yeah,
It's like this, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so you can do one that's just the folded card that has
Yep.
the message in it, and
Yeah.
some of them have like you can put a gift card in there. What's cool is you can combine this with the previous box. So if you did like losing sleep, and then you have like a video playing on the side instead of just your logo, right?
Yeah.
Um, and the cool thing is, these can get expensive because there's some technology built into it, but there's lots of companies that do this today. It's not proprietary, stuff. There's not only one or two companies that are doing it, it's lots. But I love this as a VIP kit. Like I
Yeah.
love opening this up and the video being to that person. That's the
Yep.
opportunity here. So you open it up and says, "Hey Jim, we put this package together for you, because we care about you and we want to be your partner and blah blah blah. Hope you enjoy the kit. Love to get together." Like that's going to be
Mm.
even more impactful, right? Exponentially more. But with more impact comes more dollars. So
Yeah.
there's some ranges here. So those are the five that we recommend. Obviously, you can read through some of those notes there. Jess, I think you saw your name come up a couple times there. Like Jess is asking for this. Here's a great way to do that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? So yesterday, I love this, and I think the team is gonna love this too. Just yesterday, we were having a conversation about what is something that we can send, to our database that's gonna catch their attention. And like I said, the team is gonna absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely love
I
this.
love it. Cool.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
this is high impact messaging, and all of that, that this to me wouldn't be to everybody. This would be to the if I were,
Lex.
as I'm out loud, but you've got in here 50 high value partners. These would be the door openers effectively, Jess, I think, to the broker owner and
That's
not
right.
to the
Mm.
agents or the president of or the branch manager of a mortgage company. I've got a short list of like type prospects. When yesterday you heard Christine say Trevor Barrett, at Barrett Financial, they do 1,000 transactions a month. This would be one of these things would be tailor made for
Mm.
that. So that
Right.
when we did these back in the day, as you could see from some of the comments, we sent a life ring out, we sent a hula hoop out, and it crushed. It crushed in terms of being able to have conversation with the target. It didn't, so we got through the door, and it was really kind of a kind of a yeah, it was really effective. So the high impact, they can be expensive too, which is another reason to not do it with everybody.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's really really good.
Yeah.
All really good idea. I love the repair kit. That's kind of a cool thing. We've done the life ring, we've done the hula hoop. They work. Sleep Kit is brilliant. The VIP. I mean, I've been thinking about this guy, right? Thinking about this would be a great way to get in front of somebody if you personalize the message. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
Trevor, how you doing? I think Burke. There's a guy that supposedly talked to him about us. And Burke, you've been talking to Burke, and you've got a relationship with Burke. Burke has been recommending us, and I think he's been recommending us to get something. Blah 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 blah. But it can be a personalized message, which I love too. So it's all
I,
good.
I,
It's all good
so
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, you can combine that too, Jim. I just thought about the repair kit.
Yeah.
You can put it in a VIP box
Yeah,
and just do like one really good multi-tool,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
Swiss
Well,
Army knife
for
approach.
some those big prospects,
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
know, what I love about him too, Jess, and James, I know that James, and also you guys get this, but what I have loved about the high impact, the big, like the hula hoop, when it went through the office, I told this story, when it went through the office to the recipient, everybody's looking at it like, what the heck is that? And then
Yeah.
interact with it at their desk or open it in front of other people and like, oh my God, it's a hula hoop. And it creates water cooler stuff. They start talking about it.
Yeah.
And then, when I'm calling, I'm the crazy guy who sent you the hula hoop in the mail. Like
Yeah.
it's been we haven't this is the first time in a long time that we've actually had these kinds of concepts to play with.
Yeah.
So it's good to see the this is yeah, it's good to see the brains working in
Yeah.
a similar vein here.
All of
Before
Yeah.
before we go, can I just say one thing?
sure.
That this is for not just like the targeted list that Jim's talking about, but more for like everybody in our database. So again, back to the conversation we had yesterday, we were talking about Embrace Home Loans right now, they have a program where they call it the 14-day fast track, something like that, right, Jim? And
Yeah.
basically, they guarantee to their borrowers that they can close in 2 weeks. And we've been meeting that. We've been meeting their expectations. They love the speed, and speed is really important. It's really one of our strengths. So yesterday, when we were talking, we were wondering, like, okay, how
Yeah.
do we get this message out to the people, because speed is important for all lenders.
Hmm.
And so maybe if you can help us come up with something in regards to speed, that even if it's just a mail or like a smaller mailer or an email, but we need help with that, I would say. Like, what do
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
call it? We can't call it the 14-day fast track, but if we can brand it in an equity
Yeah.
way.
Are
Yeah.
you saying that as a
Um,
high impact mailer, or are you saying that as another?
Well, what do you
I,
think, Jim? I
no, I
think
think
either
it's
way, like a blast of an email, or even if it's like a postcard or something that's like in theme with
mhm.
speed,
Well,
you know?
the first thing that we have to do is make certain that what we are saying we can do, we can in fact do operationally. Like we're not
Mhm.
going to say it's 7 days and it's not 7 days. Many, many years ago, we created this thing called Fast Track with an E and then powered by equity. And we did it with Citizens, where we took, so just by way of explaining back in the day, when we did this, the lenders were trying to move very fast on what they call rate and term refinances. This is back when Countrywide was huge. And the country was buying every freaking loan, that was being made in those days. A rate and term refi should be the fastest turn time that you can create because it's simple to underwrite. And because when you're doing a cash out refinance, there's some verifications that the lender needs to do that kind of it drags it out. And so what's happening with refinance transactions is when a borrower applies for a loan with a lender, the lender wants to move fast because once the credit is hit by the borrower, so James, when you apply, as soon as you apply, your credit bureau, the credit is hit for an inquiry, and there are people who monitor that. They're buying access to that information, so then they're going to call you like right away. You'd be like, you literally could apply, this morning, and at noon you get them calls from lenders saying, "Hey, congratulations," and they're gonna be,
Soliciting you.
shifty how they do it. So the lender is basically trying to, if you get this concept, they're trying to take the borrower off the street. So meaning that they're no longer. So what we did was we invented this with citizens' permission. We said this, it would basically, they take an application on Monday, we get the order on Monday, and then we call them to pre-schedule them for the following Monday. So that phone call telling them, hey, we're going to schedule you, we're working with citizens. They asked us to schedule your closing. We're anticipating you're going to close next Monday. We have 9 to 12. Here are the time blocks. Tell us what works for you. And not always did they say, yeah, I can, they couldn't do it on, so it moves to Tuesday to Wednesday. And what we were doing was basically putting in their heads that they're done and that they're going to close. So even though we use anticipating and other qualifying language, what it did was it was pretty successful. But inside Citizens, they scrambled. It was like one-offs. They would take the app and run it through the process manually instead of having it systematized. So it started to drop the effectiveness based on the Citizens didn't have a process built for it. at all. And so they stumbled but it was the concept was take them off the street. Same feedback that we're getting now from Jess and from Chris is that the loan officers, want us to move fast so that they can communicate that, yeah, title's done. We're just needing to do thus and such, and we should be okay, by date certain. Embrace is doing it with a 14-day guarantee or some kind of money back. So what they're looking for, Justin and Chris, is something akin to that. Not so much the branding as much as we can come up with names like Fast Track or Fast Lane or Fast Paths, things to kind of connote speed. But we're gonna have to make sure operationally we can perform to whatever we're promising, because the thing that
Sure.
will screw the whole thing up if we can't perform. And we do get title. We're basically ready to close in 7 business days or less most of the time. There are exceptions to that. We'd have to asterisk that. So they're looking for something like that. We haven't discussed it with operations yet, but that's the idea. We're kind of thinking along those lines. I don't know if that helps with the explanation. Is that
Yeah,
nail the
that is
explanation, Jess?
super helpful.
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So
Awesome.
Because I do think it's our strength,
yeah.
especially on the title side. So just to capitalize on that
Yeah, I think
makes
partly
sense,
part of our messaging there, so to speak, is like we're ready before you are,
Yeah,
which is true. We are, and what we mean by that is we're ready to close. The biggest delay in being ready is getting the mortgage payoff statement, and if we can't get that, because that's sometimes there's delays in that process, we can explain that. The other would be some kind of a title defect, and that would be the asterisk if there's a title defect. Like for example, you and
a
Callie,
trust document needs to be corrected or something.
yeah, you and Callie are borrowing the money, but you're on the loan, you're borrowing, but it's James, you only on a title, or the reverse. So that creates a delay in trying to make sure that the title holders and the mortgage borrowers are the same.
Yeah,
So
100%.
I think you get the idea. So maybe
Yeah, I
chasing some names.
my brain is clicking. So let
Good.
me throw some thoughts together. I have an idea I want to show you maybe in the next day or two.
Okay.
Definitely before the end of the week, I'll try to send you some stuff. But we need to wrap up. So
Yeah.
Austin, you want to go through to-dos real quick and
Yep.
we'll wrap up. Yep.
All right. Yep. Sorry, longer meeting. Sorry.
No, you're
Oh,
good.
no worries. Yep.
Yeah, we're fine. So yeah, just have a quick review of the high impact mailer and the security
Yep.
naming.
Yeah. Yep.
And just give you some thoughts on that. We'll send the May social media review and the meeting recap for you to review.
Yeah.
And then
Working on the
you're
validation. Yep.
working on the validation interviews. Yeah, the website.
Yeah.
So it's both of us. So have your team review that. We're continuing to design out some of those pages. So our team's working on that production side at the same time. Other than that, that's
Ja-
the biggest thing that we have.
James, can you send the security, the stuff that you just previewed, the deck?
I'll send the
Yeah.
slides right after
Yeah,
this.
those slides will come in the meeting recap.
Excellent.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
Rate the meeting, guys. That's
Yeah.
it.
Nine point eight.
Yes.
All right, 9.75.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it was a good meeting. Really
Yeah,
good meeting.
Chris 10.
Awesome.
All
Thanks,
right.
yeah, Christmas stout.
guys. I love
All
it.
right.
Talk to you soon. See ya.
All right, see you
All
guys.
right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.